So, note to self: I should remove the videos that don't have sound in them, so I don't accidentally click them. So,
I was just thinking we
so
should add some sound to that.
imagine a boom, and lots of
Silent
fun sound effects.
explosion.
Fuck.
Yeah, we had it last time, right?
That's the worst anticipation not met ever. Like it comes up and I was like ready for the boom and nothing. Oh gosh, it's terrible. Luckily, no one's watching, so you know.
Yeah, well, William just popped in.
When-
Yeah, Willie is.
Yeah,
Willie's
geez.
inside. What's up, buddy?
Show some respect.
Oh, dude, I feel terrible. Why does it show 0? Now it shows 2. Okay, I'm sorry, 2 wonderful people out there, William at least. So, anyways, welcome to the show, Council's Corner. We've been doing this now a couple of weeks, and we still don't know what the fuck we're doing. But tonight's going to be a little bit looser. We got a few things we want to talk about, but mostly it's just going to be kind of hanging out and chatting. So I know Bonely's got some stuff he's got to get off his chest. So take it away, Bonely.
Hey, what's up, guys? Bonely, happy to be with y'all again this week. I just wanted to remind you that our Crimson Racing League and Dash One is starting on Monday. And we're going to be practicing and doing test runs every night this week on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday leading up to it. And it's going to be awesome. And this Friday, we're going to be announcing the whole logistics as far as how we're going to do the races and how the points are going to go and everything. That'll all be released on the Discord on Friday. And we'll get our first races going Monday. Hopefully, we're going to be able to live stream them. We're going for that. So I'm working with Kitty. We're going to try to get that going so that we can be live. And it's going to be fun. So, we've got a fun night. We're going to be talking about Ilysia, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of other games we've been playing recently, and it's going to be a great time. So, let me pass it on to Sir Maldo, my racing rival.
I'm going to get you, Bonely. Be prepared to eat my dust.
Right?
Oh, that game is so much fun. I love all the crazy power-ups and stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Lots of good mixture of luck and skill, because even someone who's really good at the game can get hit by like 10 items in a row and end up in last place. Anyway, stoked to be here with you guys again this week, and yeah, I can't wait to talk about Vox Machina, Machine. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it, but that game has been a lot of fun. That's my background right now, driving giant Machine. Okay. You know, it depends.
Sorry, didn't mean to just totally interrupt you. Oh,
yeah, no worries. Oh, Bonely, what happened?
Gone.
Oh, it's okay.
He's gone forever.
Okay. That's good. Oh, he's back. Bonely's back. All right. Anyway, Vox Machina. Anyway, lots of fun. I've been enjoying it. You're driving a giant mech against other people. There's PvP. There's co-op. Up to 4 people on co-op. Up to 16 people for PvP, and it's just chaos. I love it. There's a lot of different types of mech. There's like big tanky types of guys, and then there's smaller guys that have different abilities. There's a sniper type of mech. There's one that's meant for ramming people, which is hilariously fun. But anyway, what have you been playing, Budo?
Yo, Ilysia as much as I can before the alpha ends, and it's so funny how much I play it, and I'm like, okay, I'll get to this level, I'll level it, and it's so hard to level up when you start getting up there. But yeah, it's fun. Well, we can talk more about that. Do you want to just go right into that now, or did we want to talk about something else first?
Let's go right into Ilysia for a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, so they from what we heard, that might have been possible that our last episode may have influenced some of the game mechanics. And thanks, Romaldo. Maybe not, but it was probably a lot of other people. We got to admit, a lot of other people saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think it might have been somewhat of a catalyst. I don't know. It sounded like it made a difference, which would be really cool. So
yeah, but it was good. But it did. They went a little intense on one of the updates that happened, like there's been a couple of updates since the last episode, but the first one, they updated the tokas that have bow and arrows. I forget exactly what they're called. They updated those so that they were just incredibly accurate, and they were just shooting their arrows off super fast, and they were kind of tough. But unless some of the tokas are different, now I'm at higher level tokas, and they are going a little slower with their arrows. They're a little bit easier to manage. That's the main difference that I've kind of noticed between the two updates. But there's just so much in that game. It's hard for me to say what all that they were working on. But I just, one thing that we were talking about last time and that I've really now kind of gotten the feel for since the last episode is just how massive the map is. And kind of that fun of an old school RP or MMORPG of just exploring and just having so much space to explore. And that's kind of like part of the fun. And it's kind of wild to me that right now we only got, 5 areas. And in a recent interview with one of the developers, he said that there's supposed to be 25. And that's just feels like kind of outrageously massive. But yeah. I don't know. Has anybody else played it much since last episode?
So I have been violently ill for the last 4 days. So
no.
I jumped in. I think it was Monday. I downloaded the new client and then played for like 10 minutes. And I was like, all right, so it works. And I went back to whatever I was doing. And then I went to go play again, and I saw that they had already released another client version. So I downloaded that version, got everything squared away, and jumped in for maybe half an hour. And I did some grinding while I was waiting for people to show up for the dungeon, and no one showed up. So I don't know if dude, that might have been the night you came, Budo.
Yeah, I think that might have been, yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of, I won't lie, it's kind of annoying having to re-side load it, but I like them. I understand. I respect that it's an alpha. And if anything, I was like, okay, I'm getting used to learning how to do this. So yeah.
Well, it's one reason PC's master race. Because you just extract the file back into the same folder and you're done.
Yeah.
It all just works.
Yeah.
And you can go in and you can set up Steam to like find it and play it, so you don't even have to put on your headset, I launch virtual desktop, Steam pops up, pick my game in VR. It's just like
interject to agree with you because okay, well then never mind, I disagree. No, I was gonna say I was downloading and installing a lot of games yesterday just because I was figuring out side quests, and there's a bunch of demos and stuff on that, as well as just like seemingly free full game experiences. But anyway, one of the things that I learned about was Doom 3 Quest. It's a Quest adaptation of Doom 3, which is like an 18-year-old game at this point, but it was surprisingly good. And all it took was you have to own Doom 3 via Steam or somehow and have the game files on your computer, and then you just move some of the game files onto your Quest and like into a particular folder after installing Doom 3 Quest off of SideQuest, and it was surprisingly good. Like, I was impressed. I played for an hour yesterday. So you need a PC pretty much to own Doom 3, so it's impossible to do otherwise.
I was actually just watching them doing a original version of Doom with like ray tracing and all that crap, and it looks so phenomenal. And the guy's computer, like, imagine playing the original Doom, like so intense that it's dropping down to like 35 frames. Like, he showed like he played the original file and he was getting like 1700 frames or something. And then he switched to the graphic intense and it was like 30 frames. It was insane.
Wow. That is crazy.
But it looks really cool because it's still that old school feeling, but you've got shadows and light particles and stuff. It's pretty cool.
And I just want to thank Pandian in the chat. He mentioned that he confirms that the lower level Toka Hunter archers are also shoot slower, but those ones now are too easy. So, but that's kind of, to me, a really fun thing to experience in an alpha, is them playing around with the mechanics and just getting to see that. Yeah.
And it felt like a direct response to our conversation, and it might have been, it might not have been, but it really felt that way.
Yeah.
like we talked about it that night, and
maybe we just highlighted some things that they were thinking. You know, I'm sure it wasn't, you know, the idea wasn't spawned there, but, you know, I think we highlighted things that they were thinking about maybe. And then, you know, I'm sure there's other people with similar complaints as well, but certainly we're on the same wavelength.
I mean, I'm sure they've got a long list of, I don't know if you call them tickets in a beta or an alpha, a long list of bug reports, I guess that's what you call it, that they're trying to work on. And I mean, I should have talked about how my hood's connected to my thumb.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Because I haven't seen anyone else that has that stupid bug. I should probably mention
William.
that. That's a yeah. See you, William. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely. But what's it called? About the interview that Budo mentioned there, that was a really good interview. I have to say, I was a lot more impressed with that interview than I was with the Zenith interview by far. I mean, this guy was a lot more comfortable. He seemed to have a lot more command of what was going on in the game and how they were moving forward with it. And it just felt like it made a lot more sense. It wasn't as it was focused. His idea was more focused, I felt like, than Zenith was at the time.
I just want to jump in and talk over you so much. I will try my hardest not to. Meta's not here to do it, so one of us has to. So you're looking at the difference between Ramen trying to be a AAA studio, and they've got massive financial benefactors. So everything he says now is like representing this firm and everything else. Then when you look at these guys doing Ilysia, they're a small team. It's almost has that homegrown feeling, and like they have a lot more control over their product for one. So the things he promises, as long as they can actually do it, they're good to talk about it. Versus Ramen, where they can't even set a date on their major updates that they literally already have the content for. They just have to push it, and they can't even talk about that. So
yeah,
the massive difference between these two interviews. For one, I had a hard time watching the Zenith interview, and we're talking about something I'm incredibly interested in, but just sitting there and hearing the no answers, everything was yeah, we'd like that. Well, of course we would like that. What? Give me some meat. And then this interview where, I mean, he literally dropped things that he says are going to be in the beta. He literally talked about features, and yes, we're working on this. You know, he said they have 2 developers specifically working on a couple of things. And I hear that and I get really excited because I go, you know, at the very least, they will fail, but they're going to try, versus, you know, not having any idea what people are doing and hoping they do something. I loved watching this interview, and for some reason, with us trying to become something in this space on the internet, I feel like Upload VR kind of looks like they've got a pretty big part of the Kiwi.
What up, Legend of Kiwi?
There. What's going on? You're supposed to be up here.
Oh yeah.
You're supposed one of these squares. We can kick Sermaldo. There you go.
How dare you?
You can come off and you can come on.
No, but I was and the questions were good. Like you mentioned, now Zenith we've heard the news about their $35 million money, and everything. But I like that this interview was like, oh, what about your funding? How has that been going? And the guy actually answered like, oh, it's been mostly private.
And it's good to know how much private funding they have outside of, because I mean, I've been, so have you guys, let's go ahead and plug them real quick. Cause I mean, we're all obviously enjoying the game. Even this guy is bought into the beta.
I bought into the beta. I admit it.
So right now they said through the 8th. So you guys have like 2 more days. So the 5 people that watch this in the next 2 days, you need to go buy beta keys because it's worth it. We're, investing in them and making it possible for them to do this stuff. And then I didn't realize their Patreon is active. And Pandian actually told me, because he's like, yeah, I get free stuff every month, or I get stuff, not free stuff. I get stuff every month, and it's like going in. Platinum status, I think, is $15. Like, it's not much money at all.
Yep. Arch
when you think about
that. Yep. In the chat.
So yeah. So I think it's $15 a month to be platinum, and you get, I guess, three or 4 free things every month. Free things. Again, it's not free, you're paying. But
stop using that word wrong.
Right? So when the game comes out, like, I imagine these guys that have been doing this for a while are just gonna they're not gonna have any room in their inventory. Their entire what are they calling it? Your my brain just went blank.
What, your safe house? Or no,
your entire caravan's gonna be full of all the platinum things. But yeah, for sure, go check out their Patreon. I mean, I think it's a game that's worth investing in. I really, I like the grassroots, small town, like small business feel of the whole thing. I don't feel like it's sacrificing quality by them having a small team and, actually listening to their player base. And I'm going to mute my phone. Like, I don't feel like they're sacrificing anything by doing that. Like, I think we're still going to get an awesome game. And so, yeah, any kind of support we can kick their way, it seems like it's definitely worth it. And again, like, for the platinum support, you're getting stuff in the game. So even if it's silly things, it's still.
Is it cosmetics or is it actually like?
It looks like some of it's useful stuff. I mean, a lot of it is kind of silly things, but it's stuff. Who cares? You get stuff. Get stuff.
Yeah, and as much as I like that it's being a traditional MMORPG, I really like that he stressed in the interview that the importance of being a VR game and that experience of what you can do in VR and that you can climb, and that experience is something that is that is really important to it. So it's good that he sees the importance of both the gaming, just the normal old school aspects that you need to focus on, but then like, no, it's VR. So that is a big part of it.
Another thing that he said during the show or during the interview that was pretty interesting and kind of poignant to what we were talking about last week was that he made a joke how people had to walk really far to get to the dungeon. And he was like, oh, and he was laughing about it, how people had to walk really far, because that is very much their intention. And
well, and that
you knew that you're like, okay, so this is the intention for them to make it difficult to get places. But that's where the mounts come in. And it sounds like they're really going to be moving forward with the mounts. They're talking about mounts in the beta, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I bought my mount for the beta. You didn't buy a mount for the beta?
Yeah, that's one of the benefits you can get if you purchase the beta. Is that as good of an advertisement as I can do?
Let's
see. It's called something. You can buy the key, I think, and then you can buy the pack. What's the
full
pack
game
called?
pack? It's $20. It wasn't. I mean, that's what do we spend $20 on? 2 cups of coffee. Not even a third of a tank of gas. Let's not talk about gas. But yeah, it's $20. And again, it's silly stuff, but yeah, let me pull it up.
Just keep talking. Yeah,
I forget that we have the capability. Yeah, someone else talk for a second. Let me pull it up.
Well,
oh,
Buddha, what
yeah.
else have you seen? What else have you seen changed? Have you seen any other differences besides those the main just moving of the characters and things? Have there been any other differences?
I haven't noticed any other real differences that are like that I've noticed. I think some of it's probably that they're just trying to take care of some of the glitches. My items have been staying in my inventory. I haven't been experiencing issues with those kinds of things, which was a problem that they were having. But I'm glad that they acknowledged that again in the interview he mentioned, yeah, there's been issues with the items, and so it's just nice to hear some honesty from people like that. Oh yeah, here we go. Yep, and now you can see what you can get. But yeah, it's so I mentioned it last episode, and I'm going to say it again that I know it would be cooler to be a paid game tester, but it's just neat to be able to invest in a game and then get the chance to get to play it. And it was nice to hear, while it was still, it's still to be determined when the exact release of the beta is, he sounded pretty confident that it will be sometime later this year. So that's nice to hear.
That is good.
So there's a pet, a mount, and a weapon skin. Or is this a weapon? A weapon skin.
Yeah.
So,
oh, and speaking, I just, as a joke to anybody who has played Ilysia enough, people kept talking about, I found a Toka Bell. And like, there's two. Oh, maybe there's three. And I'm like, oh, what is that? Some like item, some sort of item. It's a bell. And then somebody finally takes me to it, and it's like a taco stand. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, Toka Bell. And I literally didn't get the joke until the next day, randomly in the middle of the day. I'm at work. I'm like, wait, Toka Bell. Oh, Taco Bell. Oh, I get it. And so I just have to,
Now, what did you think about what he said about the casting, where he was saying that the spell casting, they were going to be doing hand motions, and then they were going to work the staffs in? Like, I'm wondering how you have both going at the same time.
This is where we need to get Pandy in the stream, because he actually played the alpha or the pre-alpha, or maybe both.
I think it sounded like he played both. Yeah.
Because
I was
I've
excited
heard
to hear
him
that.
talk about hand casting.
I'm not a fan of the current system, so I'm glad to hear they're changing it.
Well, I'm wondering how
they're adding to it.
Well, he said it was going to be less like you're doing a Harry Potter spell at somebody and more like you're doing something in front of yourself. Which my shoulders will be glad after playing some knock or something.
I took it to mean like you could be Harry Potter or you could be like Gandalf. Where you're
I'll take Gandalf any day.
Or you could still do wand crap. Yeah. I like the wand stuff. It's not nearly as bad as Orbis.
Yeah.
I think I threw 3 fireballs and was like, I'm done. This is not. But yeah, I mean, we got some new people showing up and chatting.
Yeah, I wanted to say what's up to my man Isold. It's his birthday. He's in there.
Nice. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to
birthday.
Isold. Yeah.
And then we got Arch.
Yeah. Arch in there.
So he says both hands and tools.
Messages in there.
So if I was going to say anything else about the game, all I could say is that I understand if you want to have a restricted period of time for the alpha so they can work on it, but if anybody's listening out there, I'd really like a little bit more time with the alpha. If you could give it to me.
So
good luck.
I have thought more than once. I mean, God, I don't want to say this stuff out loud. I don't want to give people bad ideas, but I mean, I've thought more than once about finding a way to look at the server and host our own server so that we could play this poorly. Like, I'm sure they've already got a lot of additional content and stuff that they're just not putting into the alpha. But like, I would like to still hang out here and play this version of the game. Like, I know you don't get it, Link. We get it. You can stop making faces at me. But I mean, yeah, I'd love a way to hang out. But that's another one of the good things is, he said they're going to do those like free play weekends so they can stress test. So, and think about how much fun that'll be. Like, you jump in to log in, and then you can play. 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 And then you and the servers are maxed, like it'll be the most people you've ever seen because they haven't gotten to play in 6 months or whatever. And suddenly they're like, all right, you guys have 24 hours, break some shit. I know every time a lot of console games do that pre-release where they're like, oh, come try the game out. And I'm always like, yeah, I'm helping. But it's so much fun. I know we did that with Destiny 1 and the servers immediately broke. Like it was ridiculous because I mean, I think they said they had upwards of thousands of percent of what they expected. And I mean, it just destroyed their network.
Well, that's what the guy was saying in the interview, was that he said that in the beta he wanted to have like weekend parties and things where they get as many people as possible to try to break the servers. That sounds fun.
Yeah, stress test. I mean, it's a typical thing. It's why you see the free weekends is usually because, like with real games, I don't want to say that, with flat games, they do that occasionally again just to test out new features, and it's a way to get free people testing your game. So it's always a good idea, and then people get to have a cool experience. So I mean, we will have that, and obviously, unless they want to be really nice and hand over a server that I can run on my computer here. I feel like not only is that improbable, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But,
and
but
I
yeah,
just
so-
Other games. There's plenty of other games you can play.
Yeah.
and I'm
but
not
see,
sure.
here's one of the things I'm really like. I'm sorry, Budo. Give me 4 seconds.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Just to that comment, there are other games to play. It's one of the big problems I'm having right now is
Too many.
we've got 2 days left of Ilysia, and like I'm having a hard time finding the party, and I'm like, I want to max out. I've got 2 days to do it now, and I can't find a party to like get through my next few quests.
Aren't you going to lose it all?
Yeah, but I want to do it. I want to experience it.
Yeah, to me,
Keep your negativity on that corner. Just keep it over there.
I agree. and I, as much as I want to level up, what I really want to see is the like Ice City that I heard about. So now I've gotten to the point where I can't do my next quest easily unless I leveled up. And looking at how much time I've got, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to go search the map. And just
here's the thing: regardless, on Friday we're all partying up and we're exploring.
Okay.
Like no matter what's happened, we're gonna go walk 10,000 miles or however many kilometers this map is.
I would walk 10,000 miles.
Let's see. Meta said he's about ready to pop in.
You the voice in my head, Budo.
Yes.
I wonder what he looks like today.
And I wanted to just acknowledge Pangian for answering our question. He said that the motions are kind of like hand motions in Zenith for magic spells. I'm wondering if he meant Orbis, because there isn't.
No, he's probably meaning like where you slide left, slide right, slide up, slide down.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It's been a while since you've played Zenith, but
oh no, well then that's simple but good. I mean,
Well, I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want it to be an either or though. I don't want it to be like use your hands or use this, and it does.
no, it's going to be 2 different styles of playing.
It's
So
got to
you
be.
can go
different
wand
skills,
staff,
different things.
or you can go.
It should be a
hand
whole
magic.
different skill tree though. To me, the hand thing should be totally different skill.
Hey guys, what's up?
There he is.
Look at him toss that hair. What a hunk.
Yeah,
So
Welcome, Meta. Yeah, we're just talking about Ilysia. I was curious, what did you just grind really hard to get to that level, or were you doing missions? How did you get there? How high you were?
so I grinded quite a bit, not gonna lie. All the way to level. What level am I? Shit, I've been in the game.
I think you said
19.
you were top. Yeah, you were 19.
Oh
It
no,
says
I'm
you're
level
19.
capped. I know that. I'm 19. So I grinded to 17 hard. I just found a loop of essentially some fire elementals and some of those what they call like the flame levers and the Toka chieftain, but they're not the Toka shaman over in the lava area, and just kept killing all of them with AoEs for like 5 hours. just nonstop. And after that, I was level 17. And then my game glitched, and I reached out and submitted a bug because it looks like I'm just constantly gritting my teeth while I talk. This is interesting. But no, then I reached out because my game had a glitch that happened where it just gave me an ungodly amount of XP, and then I was 19 plus. So
that is a good glitch.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm the best gamer of all time, and now I'm level cap. But no, it's I don't
You
know.
left that
Did you
part
guys-
out quite a few times.
You care to share
this is
what you
my
were
first
doing?
time hearing about an XP glitch that you got through.
Right?
heard
Like,
Dylan
a little bit
mention
more
the XP
details here.
Oh, I think they patched it.
Oh, dang.
They hopefully did. So there's a specific quest giver that is bugged, and when you hit OK at the bottom of the scroll, it just continues to give you XP every time you click it. So when I say my game bugged, I mean it bugged, but then I took good
But
advantage
you
of that bug.
kept clicking it.
It's an alpha, gosh darn it.
All my progress is going to be reset.
Yeah, you are supposed to break the game, so I guess he was
Exactly.
following
Kinda
orders.
talking.
Bam.
So, okay, come get it.
But yeah, no, that's cool. And I just got to ask, because I think you had said that you've been to the like the ice city or the snow city. If I
Of
just head
course.
towards, if I look at the map and I look at where there's snow, do you think I can find it if I just head towards that snow? Because I'm not going to hit my
Oh, better
levels
yet, I can tell you
yet.
exactly how to get there. They also moved to Tokabel, and you'll find it in the same path. So if you just go back to literally any of the starting area, like Abermore, you know how to get to like Abermore, like that area?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just go back there, hop in the ocean, and then go to the right. I want to say it's east. Yeah, east. Go east in the ocean, and jet ski, and you'll see a Tokabel, and then you'll see like a volcano-looking thing. When you see the volcano-looking thing, go a little bit further and hop out the water and follow the path up to Fort Burhole. Oh, I need to get back in the game. It's been like 2 days, and that's the city. That's that. There you go. You're there.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem, man.
By the way,
Kitty, I'm the only avatar here. Thank you very much. Also, yours is too lifelike. It's fucking creepy.
He looks like he's from the movie Cats.
Some people call this better.
I don't know about that. Yeah, no, only hit it
Oh,
on the head. You
where
look like
are
you're
your
from
where are your
Cats.
hands at? Where are your hands? Where are they?
Hey, look at this.
What are we looking
I
at?
don't know what he's doing.
He's got his jaw working.
I'm trying to stick my tongue out and it's not working.
Wait, last episode you had an arm that waved. I distinctly remember.
Oh yeah, I can do that. That's easy. I just have to click the button.
Somebody gave him a dead arm on both sides.
Oh, my computer's so slow.
Mhm.
So this is the only thing that's important
Yes. Council's
because
Corner.
that's our logo on fire on my forehead.
It's
Like
on
I'm some kind of
fire.
cultist.
Into his brain.
You definitely look like you're a
You look like a bad
stock
dude.
villain.
Could you imagine if I ever put effort into doing something? Because like that was like, oh shit, you can do this, and so I put 10 minutes into it.
Yeah, I got like a better
Um,
webcam to track my facial animation, so hopefully it doesn't look as janky.
Oh,
I can really imagine your hair doing that in real life.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
It's beautiful.
Okay, I think Restream doesn't like the higher quality HD. I might need to dial it back.
you're giving Arch Broadway flashbacks. Oh, that was me because I was doing the cats thing. That's right.
And
He was giving me flashbacks today to AOL chat rooms. So take that.
Chat rooms.
So now that Meta's here, I think that we should discuss a little bit of knock.
Oh,
we're just jumping out that quick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks
think
for
we
all
should-
the fun, Ilysia. 2 more
Yeah.
days. Go
Nah,
sign up for your beta key or go buy your beta key.
And I'm glad to
Go
hear
sign
about
up for their
Friday.
Patreon. And we're all going to get on Friday and go
One
exploring if we're not
final
level
run.
cap.
Yeah,
So we all need to get on and go crazy on Friday.
sounds good.
So we definitely do. I kind of want to just explore the map a little bit, some of those unexplored places. I also just, call me crazy, I want to just go out in the ocean and see how far it'll let me go until the world breaks. So
Oh yeah, what happens when you?
Yeah,
get to
I
the
haven't
end of
gone
the
out into
world?
the ocean. That's one thing I
it's because
haven't
you have to
done.
go so
Me
fucking
and-
far.
Me and Kier were on that boat for a good 10, 15 minutes. We were just on the boat in the middle of the ocean, just wondering if it actually had a destination. Like, is
You know
I
what would
was
be fun?
worried I was going to
going
end up in like
somewhere?
an unbuilt like second area that like the dev team hadn't finished building yet, and like I was going to end up in like Unity hell. Like,
Yeah.
We
Unity
should take
Purgatory.
bets. Arch has got the right idea here. We should take bets like in-game gold. Like, each person can put in like 5 gold in-game, like
we'll see.
to bet what happens. Do you fall off an edge? Do you
I
hit a
have a theory.
wall?
You keep
You
going
die?
to the other side. It's like
You just
Snake.
go
You just-
forever?
You come back around the map.
Oh, it's like
We
asteroid.
circumnavigate the globe. Or we accidentally find one of their other continents that for some reason is on their
You're not
server.
supposed to be able to get there yet.
Wouldn't that be
Mm.
Oh,
awesome?
what?
Yeah.
We all have to go out in different directions. So like one of us picks east, one of us picks west.
We like all meet like at one point in the middle of the water. Like, what the
Hi.
hell happened?
That would be
here?
hilarious.
Circumnavigation confirmed.
So Friday, I mean, it'll be Friday evening because that's when we all play. But I say we'll probably make it a guild event because I think most people have a key now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
we
don't
can
know
talk
if my
about that
key
later.
is still active or not.
Oh
I've
yeah,
Traded it.
yeah.
I haven't
You
tried
don't.
since
We don't
then.
care about you being there. It's
Fair
okay.
enough.
See now, you're gonna get everyone kicked off. They explicitly say you can't share account codes. If you get
No,
I didn't
he-
share my
he-
code.
No, he because he didn't have a great experience. You were talking to the community manager, right?
Yeah, let me look. It was Cosmos.
Cosmos, yeah. Cosmo. Is it Cosmos or Cosmo?
There is an S at the end. I don't know if it's
Okay. Wow.
silent or not.
I've been thinking Cosmo in my head this whole time. Now I feel like a jerk.
Silent.
Cosmo Coma.
I want to appreciate Pandian for responding. He said you can go far in the ocean, and he went straight out from the land for more than a minute and with no end in sight and still ground texture underneath. So
It can't go
That's
forever.
impressive. That's impressive that they've got the ground texture that far out.
Got to go for
Like
10
even
minutes
if it's
at least.
just plain terrain, but yeah, a minute's nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to get out there and jet ski
Oh yeah,
for
no.
6
Yeah,
hours.
I've tried
6
it out.
hours.
I've gone straight like 5 minutes out, and it's still just water. So I want to know.
Okay.
There has to be an upper limit. How far can you go?
But
Because they can't just build it out indefinitely. This isn't No Man's Sky. There's a limit.
but yeah, Sarmaldo did this like I don't know what's the word, chivalrous thing, where he wasn't having a good time, so he offered to like destroy his key so someone else could get one. So he got someone
Pretty
else in the
awesome
guild into
vibe.
the game.
No, I love
so
that.
That's awesome. But,
Yeah, so I haven't tried to log in since then because I figure it is probably inactive. But I wanted to make sure somebody else could enjoy the alpha during that time since I had kind of used up a key. And they made it work, so it was awesome. And so I gave them a lot of feedback. I actually gave them like a huge block of text in Discord. I had to cut it in half twice because it said it was too many characters.
oh wow.
You told
But,
them how back, but it was all like, this is so. So from their point of view, it was just a rant about how bad their game.
I had a lot of constructive points, and I was very nice about it. Thank you very much.
So Meta, you missed this. He bought a beta key.
I bought a
Did
beta
you
key.
now?
I'm in. Yeah,
No,
no, I
it's
want to. I want to support them. I'm totally into the concept of the game. And I have to agree with Siberian Spirit there. The Discord
So-
text limit does need to be raised.
So I'm
Or
going
you
to
could
announce
get
this
Nitro.
live on stream without discussing this with anyone. Ready here, guys?
Oh boy.
I bought an extra 2 beta keys for 2 lucky winners that
Ooh.
we'll discuss how they'll get it some other time.
Woo! That's pretty cool.
So I have an announcement I have to make.
He did the same thing. This is why we discuss things ahead of time.
No one will be in the beta
Oh,
because
no.
we bought all the keys.
Oh.
So if the rest of you guys want to jump in and buy something, we'll have a lot of stuff to give away.
Nice. I'm down for that.
But I mean, it really goes back to the point, like, you know, just so. Sorry, I got hung up on my words. Sir Maldo, you said it was that interview that kind of pushed you into buying the beta.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably already kind of planning on it, but he sounded really confident. He sounded like he knew what he was talking about, and I do want to support them. I mean, I didn't stop playing because I thought it was like, oh, this is bad. It's just that it wasn't what I would consider ready, and I had gained enough feedback already to feel like I had kind of like done my part, you know, like to help the alpha. So I wasn't going to keep torturing myself with a game that I wasn't ready to enjoy yet.
And I still think a lot of the big difference for us is we were all grouped up, and you were out there by yourself trying to figure it out and all that.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I mean, I
grinded
know
all
that
day
makes
by
a huge
myself.
difference. Yeah, but you're a weirdo. And a jerk.
Just-
Ditto.
You literally
Ditto.
stole my staff, and I was like, I'm too tired, I'm going to bed. And you spent all night leveling up with my staff.
Believe it
I
or
get on the
not,
next day.
I got off when you did. I just
No, you
started
didn't.
playing the next day before you did.
Oh gosh.
I
Yeah.
don't believe
And
you for a second.
I'm just trying to think
You
if there's
should.
anything else. I like that it sounds like it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot more variety, the crafting, you know,
yeah.
and it sounded interesting to say like, oh, you might have to have like, oh gosh, I forget what it was, like a metal worker or a leather worker to get together to make a weapon. So it's like, oh, you have to combine things from
I mean,
different. Yeah.
How
I want to
cool
be an
would that
alchemist.
be? How cool would that be, though? You know, you've got a blacksmithing talent, and
Yeah,
then
that's
someone else in your guild has leatherworking. And in order to make, you know, this claymore sword, you've got to have, you know, your blacksmith make the blade, and then the leatherworker makes the hilt, and then, you know, you've got to have someone that can tan and skin to get the leatherworker, or you know, whatever.
and
Yes.
and you'd have to
My
and you'd have to
my-
quest to get those items. That sounds like, I'm just to compare it to Zenith, that sounds like such a better system than just you gather these items and go to that tool thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to make
Yeah.
that a team thing, that'd be so rad.
Well, and just the idea, like, there's one thing about MMOs, at least like when I'm thinking like WoW and very specific MMOs, but the ownership, like, you know, when you get that gear from doing that raid the 50th time, you own those spalders, you own that helmet. When you're crafting and you finally made that bag that can hold enough items to actually be useful, like you feel like you own it, like you worked, you went and farmed, you got that leather, you made it or whatever. There's such a sense of accomplishment. To compare it again to Zenith, where I don't think I felt accomplished in Zenith once. I don't want to badmouth it because that's not what I'm trying to do. I think they're both really great games. I enjoy Zenith. What is that sound?
I thought this webcam I got, I made the unfortunate mistake of not realizing I bought one with a manual focus.
Oh,
And so I constantly keep making the weirdest facial expressions because I just tried to fix the focus while I'm on stream. but that means I can't see my actual face to see if I'm coming into frame. So, for all I know, my facial recognition technology is working with dog shit vision right now.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. But yeah, so we were moving off the topic 20 minutes
My
ago and
bad.
we're still talking about it. But yeah, they said in the beta he's going to have at least one new zone, hopefully 2 new zones. They're going to have he specifically mentioned smithing and some other type of metallurgy. What was it?
Leatherworking, I thought.
Well, he had specifically listed a couple of things. So theoretically, there's going to be professions in the beta,
Pets.
which then means you're going to have some type of trading system.
Yeah, smelting.
Because what's the
Canyon
point?
got it.
Smelting. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh. See, why do I hit the wrong button every time? So theoretically, you'll have to have some kind of trading system to really make that pay off. So hopefully it got so much quieter putting him on the screen.
No, yeah, he said specifically there will be trading, so that's
okay. I missed that part.
Yep.
And then
in the beta.
Yeah. I don't know about in the beta, but in the full game, I'm not 100%.
Okay, I'm talking about the beta because and again, who knows what'll actually be in the beta, but he's committed at least to trying to make sure it's in there to a few things that's what I was kind of getting at.
Gotcha.
But and Bonely's still out too. But yeah, it's going to be cool. And they've got mounts. So we bought mounts and pets and skins. So theoretically, the beta should at least have mounts, pets, and skinnable items. So what do they call that? Transmog or whatever. So theoretically, that'll be at least that should be confirmed to be in the beta.
Ooh, and I wonder what the 2 new races will be. Have they shown
Oh
that?
yeah, and 2 new No. And Pandian is the guy to talk. Pandian, you should be here.
I know.
I'll send you a link right now. Do you have a webcam?
Yeah, I offered to him. Offered to him, and he said no. But we're gonna keep trying. We're
keep bothering him. He's probably the kind of guy that says he's got a face for radio. He's too nice.
But
God, what was I gonna say? 2 new races. Arch said dwarf. And Meta's not in right now. He's the one that's been far enough in the game to know more of the lore with everything. Lore wise, I don't know any other elves are here to teach better. Yeah, but we're already the elves. No idea on what the other races might be.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't gotten the lore. He said that there was more in there, but maybe I think Meta said that you get more of it later on. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that I didn't get there. I'll be honest. I feel like it should have been earlier, that would have been a good thing to draw you in when you're starting to play. But
I wasn't expecting any lore or story in an alpha.
So
I'm still
good point.
Like I was completely wrong because I remember talking to one of you guys about this actually I think it was from Aldo where you're like, I don't want to lose any progress. Why would you lose progress? I'm like, well, of course you're going to lose progress. This is an alpha. Like, do you want to play through or not play through the beginnings? Anyways, so I think I was kind of wrong in that because they are doing so much lore and story in it that maybe, and he was saying like even a reason for the elves to be there, and that they're teaching magic because of what we're going to have to face, what the humans are going to have to face.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It's been good. And I really hope that with this show, if we can get it to a point, all that I would like to have fun with is to be included in alphas and betas, so that we can talk about it.
It's the secret agenda of the show.
This is our secret agenda. We're gonna be way too many games.
A lot of the games on SideQuest are in kind of an early access type of state.
I need to check all that out. When I got SideQuest and looked at all that, I was like, dang it, there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah.
Side
So-
quest is scary because I mean, there's a lot of hot garbage on side quest.
Sure, but I mean it's
That's
a
why
whole
it's
new
not
world of
released.
hot garbage for us to sift through. You
Yeah,
know,
right?
like you never know when you're gonna find that.
There's a turd that
Piece of
just needs a
gold.
little bit of polish.
Yeah, exactly. I want to try Gorilla Tag. Have any of you guys played Gorilla Tag yet? I downloaded it.
Oh
I haven't
yeah,
played it.
I was day one Gorilla Tag.
Nice.
It-
Is it
I've
fun?
not tried it.
Oh, dude, it's so much fun.
We
You
should
think
play
you
it
get-
together.
Do you think you get tired playing knock, dude?
I do.
Try. Okay, you just wait until the first night of Gorilla Tag.
Okay, we
Like,
should have a Gorilla Tag night. Sounds fun
My
as fuck.
wife made so much fun of me because I mean I think I spent like 5 hours playing it the first night, and I come upstairs and she's like, "You were laughing a lot," and I'm like, "You got to see this," and I put it up on the TV and I'm playing it in front of her, and she's like, "Do you know how stupid you look?" And I'm like, "You know how much fun I'm having?" But
That's a great mix of things. If you can look
Like-
stupid and have fun, yeah.
you know, well, and
Agreed.
one of the big things we want to focus on is like the social aspect of VR. Gorilla Tag is one of the perfect examples of the social, like, because you get, I can't remember how many people now, it's probably 12 people, and it's voice chat. You're thrown in immediately to just talking to people, and everyone is laughing, and you're running around. It's another thing where the first day we're all trying to figure out how to move and do this. One guy's over on the side hopping up the wall and like bouncing around, and you're like, wait a minute, you can do that? How'd you get up there? So I mean, oh yeah, if you want to play Gorilla Tag, I'm down anytime.
Let's get a bunch of people. That sounds super fun.
and it's free. There's no reason
Yeah,
not to.
free game.
And it's on. I think it's on the Oculus Store too. You don't even have to sideload it.
Yeah,
I think it's a real game now.
it's an App Lab one, so they're harder to find as far as I'm aware. They've made it really hard to search for App Lab games.
Is it App Lab? I thought it was a full release.
I think it's App Lab. I'm not sure.
Oh.
But a lot of the games that I downloaded yesterday were App Lab ones, and it was pretty easy to find them through SideQuest anyway. So that's how I was finding most of them.
So I think
Yeah,
this is a
so-
good transition. Oh, what do you got, Amanda?
I was just gonna say the story that I was so unfortunately not present for. So the story bit in Ilysia, real quick before we switch topics. I think they have as good a story as Zenith currently, which is to say that there really isn't one. But Zenith is, as much as they don't want to call it released, kind of released. And Ilysia is an alpha, so if that's what they have in alpha, perhaps, in a perfect world that I get really excited for, but I really don't see happening, they put like full like animations in for the NPCs that give you quests with like voiceovers. I would be so ecstatic, but it's not going to happen. But if it did, that'd be so great. If those were voice cast.
I feel like the trajectory they're on. I mean, judging by some of their reactions to stuff, I mean, they've had a really favorable experience with the alpha. I mean, to the point where they released beta keys to be bought. But I really feel like they're on this road that kind of quality is there. Like you're talking like animated NPCs. I don't know about like facial animations, just because VR is, and they're really trying to be broad. So, like in the interview, he mentioned like still supporting Quest 1 and PSVR and everything. So, with the broad range of what they're trying to do, I think that will limit some things like talking. But I mean, you know what? One of the things I really liked about Orbis was the stupid anime mouths. Like
Oh,
it
it
adds
made
a
it so
whole
much better.
depth to the experience.
Yeah.
So I mean, even
makes
something like that would be better than just a
It could be like the South Park Canadians, where their whole head moves when they're talking. Yeah.
Do you,
Yeah,
do
like,
you-
somebody,
like my
friend?
character.
I mean, that's
Imagine
one
if
of
my
the.
character just talked like this the whole time.
That's better than nothing.
I mean, and this is one of the interesting things. I think we've all seen the teeth and the tongue in Zenith, right? In people's characters.
Yeah,
So I'm
it's
curious.
there.
It's there. So I'm just curious. Do you think that will be one of the updates they'll give? Is they'll be like, okay, now
I
we've
don't
got
think
this
they're going to
figured
put
out.
that in. I think it is a lot to ask for, to be honest.
Yeah.
but
I
I
think,
think it's fun to hope for it. I think that's more like a next gen VR hope, though.
I mean,
We don't want to get our
no,
hopes up too
no.
high.
Yeah.
when
I feel like
you
it
look at the
is
models,
for a game
when you
this
look at the
scale.
models in Zenith, I think they're skinned off of your basic VR chat models. Like the head is separate. It's a T pose. Like I think, I mean, most things would be. It's just a Unity project, but to me, they look like a VR chat avatar that was moved over. And that sounds really harsh. I don't mean it as bad as it sounds, but
No, it's fair to say.
but you see things like the jaw and the tongue, so you know the model has a mouth. So it would be nice to use it. And I wouldn't think I wouldn't think it'd be hard. I mean, we're playing a game right now. One of the games, is it Vox? One of the games we're playing, the characters talk when you talk.
Oh no,
The
that's not what I
characters.
mean. I mean like let me rephrase. I think that we're on two different pages.
Uh-oh.
So like I mean like for instance like the kind of like animation and voice acting that's capable with like some AAA 2D games right now. I don't see that currently in the budget range for most VR companies, just because of how many NPCs they'd have to do that with. You know, kind of like Skyrim. Like they just kind of say like that opening phrase. It's always the same opening phrase, and then it's a bunch of text, but they didn't actually say that text. I feel like that's more with a game this size what they would be able to do.
And for me, if I was gonna say what do I want them to focus on, I would be like, yeah, a full blown voice acting, it'd be awesome, but I'd rather you work on this other more important
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
So,
Yeah, but because honestly, like, because I think right now someone was saying like it's their own team doing the voice work, and I would much rather have them put that money into developing and making mechanics better than putting it into like, hey, we got Nathan Fillion to come in and do a voice, and I love Nathan Fillion, and that, but you know what I mean? Like, I would rather them work on
Yeah.
content, and
no,
because
but
it is really cool, but I mean,
you know who's cheaper than Nathan Fillion?
no one.
But I was like, you'll be like,
It's like,
what's
do you
his
have my
name?
card? My
Rick and
card's
Morty.
right here.
What's the co-creator? Dan Harmon? No, not Dan.
He's
Harmon.
like, I
Justin
will work
Roiland.
for free.
You'll voice all the characters. It'll just be your voice. You'll go to the tavern. There'll be a lady. It'll be your voice. You'll go to the shopkeeper. It'll be some other dude. It'll be your voice. It's just they're all.
And it's all the exact same voice. He's not even doing characters.
but to move on, you know,
Esports.
Yes, esports,
Knock.
and yeah, and just.
Oh, are we not talking bowling?
No, we talk all of this stuff. We should talk all of the different games. So
I've been
that's
studying
the new
bowling
thing.
for 3 nights. Are we not talking bowling?
Studying? Damn. These are supposed to be games. This man's over here studying.
Knock. So for the price, I think Knock is one of the coolest experiences you can do
It's
in
so
VR.
fun.
My initial concern with Knock is you go into one multiplayer match and you quickly realize the disparity between beginner and I've played more than 20 games.
I've bullied so many people who aren't good at the game. I feel like a bad person.
So my literal first game, I think it was the other guy's first game too. And I'm like hitting it and I'm getting it towards the goal and I pop it in and I'm feeling good about myself. And I think I made it to 3 before time ran out. And it was 3-0. And I was like, all right, we're going to do pretty good here. So I jump into the next game, which is a 3v3 game.
Oh, no.
And the ball was in the goal. It didn't drop.
No. Yeah,
the ball didn't drop.
That's how I play, man.
And I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay. And the other 2 guys on my team were like, oh. And we had this quick realization that we're outclassed. And I think they hit 20 before they started just like playing with us, which was fun because I got an idea of how to play and they were telling us things and helping along. So it wasn't
that's how you do it.
It wasn't
that's how you do that. Don't be toxic. So to give you an idea of why that's happening, so I've been somewhat participating in the Knock Discord too because it's a relatively small Discord because this game is also pretty new, actually. I thought I just had never come across it. No, it's actually like a relatively new game, like as of like this month.
Yeah.
And so like the devs are still pretty active. Like, it's like when Zenith says, okay, we fully launched, except for, there weren't an open beta before. Like the game's brand new. And so one of the issues right now that they're trying to work on how they want to do it is the leveling system for ranking. And so as a player ranks, like right where I am currently at Silver 1, once you hit that, to try to get above that, it starts getting really hard because you don't any longer get any real points for leveling up from beating a floor level player like you, Kitty. So, but if you beat me, I'll drop like 5 levels. So and if my game crashes, I need to know that in the amount of time that I didn't play that you couldn't score 20 goals. So I need to make you rage quit so that I don't lose my spot. That's the strategy in the game currently, because in order to get above that, if you lose even one match, you get reset like hours and hour of progress. It sucks.
Well, that's cool to know.
Yeah.
And just
So-
to talk about it, so do I understand this correctly? What is the exact game mechanics? Did I hear it right that it sounds like you're shooting a bow and arrow at a soccer ball?
Essentially, the
And
soccer
you're
ball
flying
is
up and down.
huge. It's as tall as you are as a person, essentially. Some of the mechanics are really interesting in that you only have 3 ammo of like you have a quiver of 3 arrows at a time. But if you hit the ball with your shot, you get an arrow back. So it's like you didn't spend one as long as you actually hit the ball. So you can like chain hits on the ball for as long as you want, as long as you're
Yeah,
accurate.
man.
The moment you start missing, though, it's costing you arrows, and you only have 3. So you have to like run around and gather more, and it's hard to pay attention to your little ammo thing while you're playing. So sometimes you're
Yeah.
really into it, and all of a sudden,
Do you have
ding,
your
and you're
reticle
like,
turned
"Oh
on?
shit!" Yes.
Well, then you gotta just look at the dots, man.
It's easy to say, but yeah, I can't tell you how many
Also,
times
don't miss
I'm
the
like
ball.
flinging
That
my
helps.
5th shot of nothing.
Well,
And
here's
I
another
heard-
really important tip: is that when you're aiming, you can fire like this, and it'll fire an arrow. But if you pull like way back, then it actually shoots the arrow way harder, and
Yeah,
so
it
the
does.
ball will go up to speed.
So I can't see my arms right now, but I stand forward and I look like I'm like reaching both sides of my room. I look ridiculous, like I'm doing the Egyptian or something. Because I pull down so I get the upward trajectory. The key is to be able to shoot accurately and quickly. It doesn't, so that'll get you pretty much past bronze 2 pretty easily. It doesn't even matter if you're aiming well. Just hit the ball and do it a lot quickly. It doesn't matter if you're hitting it in the right direction. Because what you're really trying to do is make the other guy run out of arrows, because you'll keep getting arrows so long as you hit the ball. So if they shoot 3 times, they miss 3 times, they have no arrows, there's your chance to score.
Another good point is that you can body block the ball. You can like, as long as the ball isn't red for moving too fast, because then it'll blow you up and you die and it keeps moving. But you can like kick the ball around. You can dribble it by just running into it, which is really handy if you're low on ammo.
Yeah,
And-
it's a
and
lot
I-
of fun when you're both out of arrows and you're just running into the ball over and over. Both of you screaming, "I'm out of arrows! I'm out of arrows!" And you're like, "It's tied up and there's 5 seconds left." So
My shoulder hurts.
yeah, one really cool. Oh, sorry, Bido, go on.
Oh no, I was just, and another part of the control mechanics I was wondering is, did I hear that you don't move using the joystick? Like, do you
No.
move yeah.
So
How
you actually have to. So I don't have arms. Sormato, can you show?
But you grab
So
like,
you
grab-
grab and slide. One hand is like for just sliding on the ground. The other hand is for jumping. And so
okay.
I recommend not doing a lot of jumping unless you're
Yeah,
really
you'll get
confident,
screwed.
because you get stuck in the air. And it's really hard to pick up any speed once you're in the air
Yep,
with no
you have to
momentum.
float down.
Another really important thing that I didn't learn for several matches, because it was me against a bunch of noobs who didn't know anything, is that when you fire an arrow, you can press, I don't know which button it is.
It's A.
You can press A to like turn the arrow into a stationary cube midair, which will block the ball. And so
Yep.
even if the ball goes flying past you, you
So-
can fire an arrow past the ball and then turn it into a cube, and it'll block
On
the
top
ball.
of that, depending on the angle you're holding your bow, when you press the button, will change the shape and angle of the box, so you can hit it in different directions.
Cool.
Um,
I didn't know that.
makes
And you
sense.
also get an arrow back every time the ball hits one of your blocks, so it counts for an arrow back, which can be really helpful to know,
Really?
because a lot of people don't realize that, because it doesn't give
I
like
didn't
a
know that
plus
either.
1. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
And what's really cool is that at the end of a match, when the timer runs out, First of all, there is overtime. So if you guys are tied, you're going to keep playing till someone scores. It gets real stressful. But on top of that, the game doesn't end until the ball hits the ground. So if you can keep it in the air and get it into the other person's goal, you can potentially still win, which is really cool. And it creates, when you get to a higher level and the people can actually consistently keep the ball in the air, it gets super stressful. Because you're like, I'm going to win. I just have to not mess this up. I have to not choke right here. Oh, man.
I mean,
But no, it's fun.
we
You guys should all
talked
do it.
in our first or second stream about esports and VR's place in esports. And I feel like, other than like paintball and Rec Room, this feels like I could see
Oh,
Knock
no, this is a
being
real
on
thing.
on an esports platform where
Yeah.
they're all crowded in the convention center,
Yeah,
slinging their
totally.
arms around.
They
Um,
definitely got the esports down so well that it's kind of really cool. So like Beat Saber, it's you get sweaty. The competition's cool, but it's different. You're playing pre-controlled notes that are coming at you. Like this is completely just you and a ball. Basic mechanics: who's better, who's faster, who's more accurate, and you get sweaty and your shoulder hurts. So, and I'll tell you one thing that is my number one favorite thing about the game outside the gameplay itself. Just like I don't want to say gameplay mechanics, kind of like gameplay infrastructure, so to speak. But so the rank you are, it feels like you're that rank. It feels like you earn that rank. You can lose that rank. You can get it. The levels, not so much. But like I'm Silver 1, I feel like other Silver 1 players are just as good as me. And I have a genuinely hard time with Silver 2, and anyone below me, I just cream them. So, and I felt like that every level up I went, which is really cool. Not a lot of games seem to nail the ranking system really well.
it's always a hard thing with the skill set games, And plus, I mean, when you're talking flat games, you have people that cheat a lot, and you have
Oh yeah, good luck.
people that get lucky a lot. But I feel like in this game, like you have to have a real athletic skill to play it, which is another reason I think it's so cool to get onto an esports platform, because I mean, a lot of people complain about esports not being sports, but something like this, I mean, where you are physically invested in the game, and I mean, I do 3 matches, and I'm like, you know what? It's been a fun night. It's time to go sit down.
I'm already sitting, and it feels like that after 3 matches.
and that's a good point of like when people watch esports online, sometimes they'll have a camera on the game and the guy playing the game on the controller. But if it was a guy in VR, I mean, that's way more interesting. I mean, if people are already interested in esports with a guy just with a controller, then that's a whole other thing.
The way I see it is, as VR evolves, if you want to talk about like the evolution of esports, I think this is the official, like in my mind. I think that ArchGamer just now pointed out something really neat, which is that I've come to realize through playing now because I never tried Echo VR, which is that Echo VR also does something similar in the gameplay structure. But the thing about it is they kind of have a lot of paid packages from what I saw, whereas Knock doesn't, which is nice. But outside of that, I think this is kind of like the starting point of like esports and VR. And what's really cool about it is we're seeing that they're actually choosing to go kind of the sport way, where you have like games where like it's competitive, but like it's kind of tabletop, like Demio, which we can get to if we haven't before I got here. But then you also have like the actual sports stuff, like Beat Saber, like Echo, like Knock, that gets you sweaty. And as VR evolves, as it gets older, that could get really cool. Because in my mind, because like I grew up like playing basketball and running track and stuff, and like the idea that like I could play like a Looney Tunes version of basketball, like where that you could be in VR and they could eventually work out a way to where like I could feel like I'm Michael Jordan, my arms stretching out for that dunk. That's wicked cool. Like there are so many places they could go with this as they go forward. And I think that's really neat. They're opening up kind of, not to sound like too like cliche, like they're opening up the metaverse to the real world's competition, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
So really quick, sorry, I just want to toss out that Knock is only $10. That's something that I don't think we mentioned yet, and that's pretty cheap for a VR game, especially considering how fun it is. I've played quite a bit of it, not a whole lot. Oh my God, Kitty!
Not to mention the replayability.
I don't know. I mean, you can definitely like depending on how well. I mean, your arm gets sore, but aside from that, I think that actually keeps you coming back because you can't play too much of it in one session.
Yeah,
So
so you get better.
Yeah, you get better at the game as you go. I love games with a good skill curve. I came out of like literally probably thousands of hours of Rocket League, so the whole concept of setting it up from the corner before you take your shot and stuff is very familiar. Anyway, Kitty, what were you gonna say before your eyes turned to mouths?
I was,
No. No.
I was gonna say how
It's still happening.
with Echo VR, like I keep forgetting that Echo VR exists. Like it's such a well done game, and I forget about that because one, it's kind of
To look
tough.
that one up.
Uh, there's a pretty big entry curve to it. So once you get good at it, it's fun, but it's one of those games that I think I invested maybe 3 or 4 hours into, and just didn't want to keep playing it because it's another game where there's the hot, sweaty guys that put a lot of effort and work into it, and then there's everyone else, So
Oh, so I got something for that as someone who's a higher rank than you guys. It's happening again, Ilysia 2.0. So like I said, I'm silver 1, and like I said, you guys probably floor level, maybe bronze 1. Anyways, point to the point. The matchmaking is actually fairly good. So what the problem is you'll find is that when you move up ranks and it's high peak times, you'll typically only play people of your rank, 1 rank below or 1 rank above, for the most part. The problem is when you're floor rank, when I get matched up and there's not enough people who are silver 1, well, you're fucked. So that's where you run into that giant skill curve where you realize people are much better at the game. But what's great about it is, I lost my train of thought. This is
I wonder why.
Fuck, this is important.
So what's the next game you want to talk about?
I would love to talk about Vox. I wish Bonley was here because he's also loving that game too. But has anybody besides Kitty and I played Vox? Bonley or Budo or Meta? Have you played that yet?
Haven't played it yet.
I've bought it. I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
But
so
I'm interested. Yeah.
the multiplayer is rad. I really love the multiplayer. The single player, you do a mission in the mech, and then there's you have
I remember.
a mission in between where you have to deal with people and stuff, which is really boring in comparison to driving a giant mech around blowing shit up. So the campaign is not as fun as just messing around in the multiplayer, destroying each other, but it is a lot of fun.
And how's
awesome.
how's the mechanics in that work? Do you control it with the joysticks and the buttons, or do you grab things in
You grab
the
things.
cockpit? Yep.
Yeah, you grab things. There's a turn left and turn right
That's awesome, man.
joystick, and then what am I missing here?
So
nothing.
if I may interject really quickly,
Please.
as someone with ADHD who's smoked a little weed in my life, who just remembered his important statement.
Legally in his state where it is 100% legal.
It is. Okay, for anyone out there, it is. It is legal in my state recreationally. Thank you very much. Anyways, so
Don't get us canceled
cool-
yet, man.
Hey man. It's a good thing that's the only thing I do. I don't do anything else. I'm not out here doing crazy things. Okay, point being, I saw the sign. So the ranking system. There's a limited number of each rank. So that makes it really cool. There's only one top tier rank possible for anyone to have. And on the leaderboard, there's only one guy, he's the king of the game. You're never going to beat him. And that's kind of cool. There's only so many silver ranks. There's only so many diamond ranks. That's really cool. It makes it feel like when you have that rank, you earned it. It's not just everyone can get here eventually. And so as people get better, that rank will start to mean more and more because you actually have to be in the top number of people to have that. But so my point in saying that is, so I get match made. You think you get screwed? I get match made to people who are gold 2, which is just below some of the best players in the game. And so I did a 2v2 match with another silver 1 guy that I met up with one night. and we ended up in a two. Oh my god, we ended up in a 2v2 match with 2 gold 2 players. Which I don't know if you guys realize how good they were. They were jumping in the air and doing 360s and shooting the ball like 3 times in a row, up, down, like all over the place. I have played a lot of this game. I was having trouble keeping track of where the ball fucking was. And it was all the ways above my head, moving super fast. Me and the other guy were like, fuck this. What the hell? So probably like, "Hi, guys, how are you doing that? Are you actually like, are you in a spinning chair?" And they're like, "No." So here's a little trick. And I still don't know if they lied to me. But they said that if you actually do 360 degrees and then hit the ball, it goes further. So they said we actually in real life like jump up and spin 360 and hit the ball. And I was like, guys, I live next to a hospital, okay? Anyways, on to Vox. It does. Shh, they're not coming for me. But so Vox does look like a lot of fun. So does that feel like Titanfall at all? Like when you're in there?
No. So a few things about it. What it feels like to me is if you've played No Man's Sky, when you're flying around the ships and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're in there, you grab the controls. It feels pretty natural. It is very slow. What's the other mech game?
Iron Rebellion, which I have, but I haven't played yet, so I can't give any.
Just watching the the gameplay of Iron Rebellion, it looks a lot faster paced. It is one thing. Before I got, man, my memory is gone.
Vox Machina.
Before I got Vox, I told Bonely because he really wanted to play it. I was like, dude, it looks so slow. It is. It is just as slow as it looks in the gameplay videos. The one thing is because you're in the mech and you're piloting it and you're thinking about 5 things at once, it feels okay. Like it feels real. Like if you were really in a mech and you were really fighting, that's what it would feel like.
That's realistic.
Versus
I like that.
watching the Iron Rebellion stuff, like I don't feel like mechs would move that fast. I don't feel like that's a realistic thought. But I will say we were in that one match where there was 16 people. It was 8 versus 8. And it was absolute just crazy Armageddon going on. But it was a lot of fun. Like I have had a lot of fun in Vox. It is slow. I'm not backing down on that. But it is still a lot of fun. I'm still not sure if it's worth the price tag, to be honest. Like I'm not mad that I bought it, but I'm still not sure it's really worth that much because it feels like a proof of concept more than a game.
No.
And
well,
so,
like he's saying, the campaign for it. So one, they start you off in a mech, and you're piloting the mech, and then they pull you out into this like
I don't even know what you're in.
Teleport style, first person weird thing where you're walking around a ship, and you're having to talk to people, and it's like
you can't just go back into the
it's
mech.
making you do don't make sense. And then they try to put in this funny thing about AI, and it really just makes me feel like, all right, I want to be driving the big robot. I don't care about this. It feels neat that they added the experience of being a human and walking around as a human. It feels neat, but it just feels like there's no reason to do it. So you can change it to smooth turn and walking.
Okay, and you change it to I didn't even see that.
But you walk really slow. And when you try to sprint, you open the menu because you can't sprint. So yeah, it's a weird thing to put in that game, and it slows down the campaign so much that I think I only did 2 missions in the campaign so far.
That's probably intentional. I don't think there's very many.
Hours and hours. But see, that's the kind of thing that pisses me off in game development is when they're like, we've got to have 7 hours of content. So they force you to walk slow and they force you to talk to 10 people. I hate that. Like, you want me to turn off your game, that's what you do.
Make it a better experience, but have to be shorter.
Yeah, and it's not only the time frame. I feel like sometimes especially now with new VR, they're like, oh, we want to make you feel like you're a person outside of the mech, and it's like, yeah, but
So
that's
in
not
VR, just let
necessarily.
me be a giant robot. That's what your game is here for.
Yeah,
Like if I
yeah.
wanted to be a person, I'd take the headset off. Let me be
Like,
a giant robot.
I've walked around cubicles and talked to HR. I don't need to do that in a mech game. I
Yeah.
don't need to go get my eyesight adjusted in a VR game. Like,
All this
unless
being
it's some
said,
kind of
though,
Rick
Have
and
any of
Morty
you
BS.
guys played the Medal of Honor in VR?
mm.
You haven't.
But really quickly, I just wanted to say Vox is fun, and you can jump straight into the multiplayer without dealing with the campaign at all if you want to. And I might still be a little bit on the fence whether $30 was an appropriate price tag for it. Maybe 20 would have been a little bit better or less, but I am definitely enjoying it. Anyway, take it away, Meta.
So if you guys haven't played it, in my humble opinion, people say Half-Life Alyx is like the best VR game, and they're probably right. I am a poor Quest 2 standalone boy, and I can't play it. But aside from that, for what's
It's the
available on
closest thing
Quest,
to a retail game experience.
oh no, I've seen gameplay.
I think is
footage.
what
I
they're
fully
saying.
believe it.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is for just like a Quest standalone game, it feels really good. I have to say, I feel like it's the closest thing to that structure game that's available in VR currently, in my opinion. It feels accurate with the guns. It feels natural. I never played multiplayer. I heard janky things about it. Maybe they patched it. Maybe they didn't. But I'll tell you, the campaign it feels good. Anyways, just throwing that out there for anyone
And-
who wants to try
and
it.
just-
It is the problem game though.
Yeah, but just to confirm, is that Medal of Honor game? Is it a transfer from an already existing regular game
No,
to
completely
VR?
brand new title.
It's completely brand new. Yeah,
It was built from
And
the
then-
ground up for VR.
and that is different. I have to
Only
give some respect to
available
that.
in VR.
Yeah, I
I
have to give
didn't know
respect
that.
to that. Yeah,
It
because for
won
instance,
it won a lot of awards, but it didn't get the press it deserved because they only made it for VR. So even with the Medal of Honor name, not that many people actually played it.
That's an interesting choice, and I didn't know that. At this point, I should really start researching. We're gonna act like we know anything. We should probably learn stuff.
hey, no, but
That's cool.
that can be a good thing about a talk show like this is when it's natural and you just learn things from the other people. But
Yeah,
I mean, I was gonna say that you haven't played it yet, but Resident Evil 4 is super polished.
I heard this.
And it feels like a normal video game, but just in VR. But again, that's translating a pre-existing game to virtual reality, and that's a whole. It's almost like a separate genre that you can almost say in VR. It's like, well, is it an original VR game? Is it only for VR? And yeah, that's a whole thing.
Personally, I love the concept of VR only games. When you have to cater your experience to a flat screen, I get it. You're going to sell less. It's going to happen. But I like knowing that this game is so intense that you can only do it with freedom, with movement and hands and being able to look around shit. Like, that's what I want in a VR game.
I agree, and I also real quick want to respond to Arch here in the chat about scared of zombie games. So I am not a wuss, but in VR, I have been hesitant to play a horror game because I'm like, it really feels like it's coming at me, and I don't know if I want to deal with that.
Oh, dude, yeah, I played Red Matter, which is a sci-fi game, but it had some slight horror tones, and there was one part in Red Matter that I freaked the fuck out. I was just like, it was like the light started flickering, and I turned around, and there's dude right there. I'm like, ah! So yeah, I am actually totally considering playing, knowing that the next Exorcist game is going to be multiplayer, and we all 100% should play that and get freaked out. Like, I got to play the first one, but yeah, we're gonna scare ourselves.
And we're, just so you guys are aware, because y'all are gonna have to be involved, we are gonna start doing playthroughs of games at some point. And one of the games I really want to do is Phasmophobia, because
what is that? That sounds
Your
like something
Ghost
that I just
Hunters.
said I don't want.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's going to be terrifying. But it's one of those games that looks like it'd be a lot of fun for guys, a group like us, where we have fun and chat. And I know Zay has specifically expressed interest in doing this. And I mean, you know
I'd
how she
love to
is.
do it,
So
but only for
I
the
think hanging
laughs.
out, getting some different substances inside, and then going in and playing this game,
Oh my
and
gosh.
just doing a complete playthrough of something with it, and having like 2 or 3 hours of something fun to put up
And
would be
I
cool.
love it.
But
I wanted to mention,
Phasmophobia is
yeah,
on that list 100%.
I wanted to
You
mention
guys-
earlier, but just a shout out to our other people who aren't here: Zayleaky, Kayleaky,
Yeah.
Kier's busy with work, and Bonely. Something happened with Bonely, but I just wanted to
He's
say.
so lonely.
Shout out
That's
to
what
them.
happened.
Only got in trouble with his wife.
Oh no! Don't announce that.
Oh, put him on blast. Put that man on blast. No, he's got bigger responsibilities tonight, so
Yo,
he's
he's
taking
gonna
care of
come
that
watch
stuff.
this with his wife, and she's gonna be
That's
like, "What
why-
do you mean that he said that
What
he
did
got
you
in trouble
tell
with
them?
his wife?"
No. It's 100% a joke.
Oh
The world
my
needs to know
God.
that.
No, that
Um,
and that's why we have so many people on this show. Is so if any of us have to dip out, there's somebody else to talk. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'll
and I
show
mean,
up
it's a
late.
big group of us that has a lot of fun hanging out.
yeah.
For sure.
And
But
But
yeah,
for some reason, we think the
Metal-
world needs to hear our opinion.
yeah, yeah. Listen to us. So Medal of Honor, right? Pandian had asked in the chat if I've seen the videos. I'm not sure because I played the game, but if he means multiplayer, I'm not sure. But you guys should check it out. I don't know if you want to spend $60 when I say, "Hey, check it out," but it's but you could always return a VR game after 2 hours, but always give the creators their due. Don't do that because you're an asshole if you actually like it. But always keep that in mind. That's one thing that's really nice about VR. You get that 2 hour time. But it feels really well polished, like it's good. It's good. You get to blow up stuff. You get to pilot. That's a lot of text.
And-
you get to pilot. Oh my gosh. But anyways,
But yeah, so
WTF.
talking about you feeling like that's the most polished game, and we've got about maybe 10 minutes before I'm going to expire here.
Yeah.
I've got a few things
what-
to do.
but what
I
do
know
you-
we're all wanting to play games.
But what do you think is the most polished game, Kitty?
You know what I think. So Bonely has expensive taste in games. He finally talked me into getting Demio, and dude, it is,
It's good.
in my experience, it's one of the first VR games that I feel like is 100% polished into a final game. And now it's the kind of game that's going to totally depend on the party you're playing with. If you're playing with
100%.
friends, it's going to be the best game ever. If you're playing with kids that you get stuck with in a lobby, you're going to have a bad time. But I mean, a longtime D20 player, D&D, Pathfinder, all that fun stuff. DM'd a few games. Like, this is the bread and butter of what VR is amazing at. And I tell you, so far, everything I've done in that game has felt like it was on purpose. It's built so well. Everything looks really good. And I mean, you're playing a tabletop D20 game. And, it's like the first time you played Battle Chess back in 1990 and the chess piece moved and they attacked each other. And you're like, oh, this is amazing. It's that same feeling I got back then. It's my favorite thing about VR is this nostalgia concept that, like, it's brand new stuff and yet it makes me feel nostalgic and love all these events from my past. But it is.
If we're wrapping up, oh, sorry, Kitty, I'm an asshole. Go on.
No, we're wrapping up. Go for it.
Two quick points I want to hit. So one, with Medal of Honor, I feel like if I'm putting that out there, people are gonna maybe go buy that. First, I just want to foremost say, I am salty with Medal of Honor, or was it Activision? Who makes Medal of Honor? They try to bring 2D pricing to a VR game with AAA titles, and it is not worth its price. It's worth $30. Nah, I'd give it 40. I might give it 40. It's not worth the price they want for it. and I'm just gonna be straight up about that. But it's a great game. If you're asking the solid, most polished game, I have to again come back to Trevor Saves the Universe. That game, the textures, none of them clip. They all look like they're supposed to be there. The humor is hilarious. It really is one of the funniest games I've ever played, and it feels intentional. What you can do is limited, but it feels good. Anyways, that's my take. Oh, and Zemia was a great game. I've only just played one match so far, though.
I want to play some of that. I've got that, and I
Yeah.
definitely want to play some.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've played an old school, Dungeons and Dragons style.
We need to
game.
get in tonight. I don't know how late you guys will be around.
Oh, I'm gonna
but
do it. I told Pandy and I'd help him with one of the Ilysia dungeons, so I'm not gonna be an
Oh,
ass.
yeah.
I'm gonna do that
Yeah.
first. But then I'm playing some.
Let's
Zemia.
plan on doing it a little bit later, and people can do something else after the show, and then we can get in and play through one of the maps on it.
Yeah,
I would like to play it tonight, later tonight.
I know.
I would as well.
I get paid Friday, so I've got to wait until then. So.
Oh no.
You got
No.
there's people that might just go ahead and buy it for you as long as you pay us back, so we can play with you tonight. Just gonna throw that out there. But yeah, I've really been enjoying it, but I don't want to make a recommendation for it because again, it's so dependent on who you're playing with.
Yes.
Oh,
and if you
and
don't
you also
like
really have to
role-playing
like board
games,
games.
or
yeah.
if
But-
that's something you don't like, you're not going to have fun.
But here's an important thing: if it's important about who you're playing with, how easy is it to find those people and get into a party? Is it hard, or can it be? If I remember correctly, I saw Misty and Dobbs where they sang
So
number. How does that work?
getting into a game,
It's a
super
join
easy.
code.
You just need a number. Yeah, you
Yeah,
put in a code
and
you
even
join the game.
so, it's really cool. I want to throw this out there as someone who's only played one or two matches, one by myself because I thought I could do it solo. You can't. Don't try. You'll die. Anyways, so outside of that, even if you quick play join a game, you can still see the room code, and if the room's not full, you can just give it to someone. So say like you're halfway through a game, someone can still join, which is a really nice touch.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the
Okay.
room code's like engraved in the table, so you can invite people in at any point. 4 people. You can only have 4 people in a party. But it is cool. But to your point, where do you find people to play? You go to our website, you join our guild, and then you've got a
100%.
built-in group of people that you have to play with. And I mean, we're playing all these VR games. We've got,
And we're all pretty
24
decent at
hours a
them.
day. If I get on, someone is playing and having fun and trying to get people to play their game with them.
So, is there a way for us to share links here, in any way, to send them to the website or to the?
That's
Council
an
Racing
excellent
website?
idea. Sormata for president.
Thank you.
And this isn't a final idea. Like, we still need to talk about it. There might be problems with it, but there's so many now VR MMOs that are fun and they're different, so different from each other that we've discussed maybe trying to make designated times or designated days for different games, and that could be fun, so that we know, tonight's a this thing night, or I don't know.
So, I mean, if we're talking guild stuff right now, I mean, that's definitely a future plan where we do have that calendar going and we're able to make events where, Monday nights are race night, Tuesday nights are board
It
game night.
works. I can tell you as
it's just-
Discord runner with my mod here to my right. It is 100% in the works.
No, there's a lot of work behind it to get things working the way that'll be useful and good. But I mean, we're serious when we're talking about Crimson Council being the VR guild.
Yep.
Like,
The only issue
we want to
right
be
now,
in all aspects of VR and get as many people that are kind of on the same sphere of adults that want to play with adults and have good experiences in VR.
Yep, and as we
we
go,
want.
that is an option, Arch. But for right now, I'm trying to make sure with Kitty and everyone that if we're scheduling actual nights that are going to be designated for a specific game, I want to make sure that enough people have that to where not more than half the people who want to be able to there feel left out. So we're trying to be mindful of that too.
Well said.
And
That's why I say it's not
it's one of the
final.
tough things where, I mean, we all met in Zenith, so it's easy to schedule a Zenith event. But then we go in and like with Ilysia, it's so hard not to tell people like, hey, we're all jumping on right now, get on. Because I mean, you had to get keys or you had to find ways to get in. And I mean, it's going to come up with every game. Like Demio right now is the one I'm really wanting to jump in and play, and everyone else
Yeah.
is like, we've got to finish Ilysia. And I'm like, I know, I
Yeah.
also really want to finish Ilysia.
I'm over here like, I
So-
finished Ilysia.
We're gonna Brady Bunch it.
That should be the
Yes, I'm
thumbnail for
going
this
home.
video.
Hey, I'm just glad it's not me getting picked on this time.
But yeah. So, anyways, it's been a fun night of chatting. We kind of covered some cool stuff. We spent way too long talking about Ilysia again. I think we've covered Ilysia every single night of our broadcast. So that's cool. I think it's clear we all really like where it's going. Even Sir Maldo down there likes where it's going, and it's a cool game.
Hey,
I've
I don't think
enjoyed
that.
it so much.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because if for a talk show like this, it should be about what's new is a good topic, and so that we got lucky that when we started this, Ilysia was coming out, and so it's like, all right, let's talk about this. Yeah.
And what's drawing our interest?
One very last thing, I promise. I've got to find the link. Where did I put
So
it?
you interjected before you found the link just to make us wait.
I did. Well, because I mean, we're outroing, and I was
power
like,
trip.
oh yeah,
Suspense.
What a power trip.
Captive audience.
captive audience. No, just
Thanks,
one more.
Thanks everybody in the chat. Sorry if we didn't acknowledge something that you said, but we just all appreciate you, and this will get better as we go. We'll
guys make
get
the
this figured
show.
out. Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to plug now that I've got the link up
Yeah.
is QuestHaven. So with how much we're enjoying Demio, one of my first comments was what I would like is a GM version or a DM version where you can make your own maps and make your own campaign and have other people play it. Well, look at what came up today in my newsfeed.
Wow.
This is still in Kickstarter. It is already fully funded, and they still have a few days to go on it. So I am going to jump in and back this just to give them some extra money.
Yeah.
It looks like
Maybe
it's
get
going to be really awesome.
Some perks. So there's some
But,
donation perks. I like to donate for return for things.
Yeah, so to get a full copy of the game is $30.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's kind of where it starts. Yeah,
But you can be a
Dude,
literal
it is-
virtual dungeon master. That's just gnarly.
it is
Oh, that's
so
cool.
full of stuff. Like you can drop in and be your minifigure.
Those maps look
Like,
so
look
much
at
better
this.
in my mind than and those characters are like steadily moving. They're not just like frozen in place.
Yeah. Like
By the way, I
it's-
noticed a cool little Easter egg in Demio. If you go under the table and look up, all of the little figurines have Demio's logo at the bottom.
Yeah. But I mean, it's another thing where they're in the same market, but they're two different things.
Yeah, they are.
Like
looks like it.
QuestHaven is literally D&D and Pathfinder. So it's literally a system like Roll20. So it's a way to play D&D with your friends online. It's just a really cool way to do it. So I mean, you're talking two different things. It's kind of like a MOBA versus a MMORPG. It's two different things, even though they're the same thing. At least that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
So I would recommend checking out QuestHaven, backing them. What they've got so far looks really cool, and I can't wait to play it. So yeah, that's my last plug. Yeah.
Any
Yeah,
final
give-
words
give
from
them
anybody?
Mm, thanks
Hey,
for tuning in.
guys, this was a great show. Goodbye.
Have a great night.
Thanks you guys for watching. Thanks everyone for being here. Kier, Zay, Kay, Bonely. I hope I'm not forgetting someone because that'd make me feel really bad. Missed you
No,
guys
How could you
tonight.
forget them? How could you forget them?
No, that's it. And they're
Yeah.
and we may interchange, and if we do, that's fine. But they're all welcome, and we also still always welcome Pandian. but I know he doesn't
You
want
have
to
an
do
open spot on
Leave the
screen,
man
Candian.
alone.
Join us.
If Sermaldo can do it, you can do it. Okay, look at
See.
that guy. Look at him.
You're welcome, man.
All
And,
right.
and thanks, Pandian, for giving really good comments that we can talk about. Thanks to all the commentators. Again, I said it before, but apologize if we didn't mention something you said, but we'll get better at this. It's all moving.
And no, you can't drop in and be your character in Demio. Just throwing
Yeah,
that out
it's
there.
tabletop, man. It's a tabletop with the animations, so like it feels like you ever seen Star Wars? Where, like,
Goodbye.
they have
Here's 20 more
holographic-
minutes of talking.
no, real quick, outro. So you ever seen Star Wars? They have like the holographic like chessboard and the characters move around, and it feels like they did more with the board game, but it's still the same board game. That's what Demio is. It's a tabletop like combat game that's strategy based, and it's a lot of fun. But it's a tabletop game with animations. But just go into it understanding what it is, and you'll have a good time. If you think it's something it's not, you might not like it.
Hey,
Yeah,
if we're getting
it's just a board game. You're just
if we're
playing
getting
through a
closer
board
to
game.
Star Wars, everything's going well.
All right.
All right, peace out, guys.
Peace.
Peace.